this video we're going to be looking at how the cup is trimmed up and how the handle is added and some of the drying considerations. So this cup has been sitting on the plaster bat overnight and covered so that it didn't dry too quickly, but it's quite firm, and the handle is also quite firm, so they're both at about the same moisture level. Now you might think that having to trim off this edge of the casting slip is not necessary, and an alternative is that you can just pop the casting slip straight into the middle so that you've got no apron to cut off here. You can use that method to put on a base, but I've found through using both methods that this is a much more secure process. So the base needs to be trimmed off with a knife. At this point you've got to be really careful that you don't undercut, so I'm leaving quite a bit there. So once you've trimmed the whole lot around, you can then use a damp sponge to clean it up. So at this point I can completely tidy it up and compress any of the burrs that the knife has caused. So another step is making the handles. The handles are thicker than the cup slice, so I've added in deeper rails to make this cut, and then slice them up, and then we just compress the edges so that they don't rip while we're shaping the handle. Then I form them completely by hand, and I use the damp sponge to help the curve. If I didn't do this, the clay would start cracking. So I just drape it over my fingers to get a rough idea of the shape, and then finish the shape up. It needs to be really firm before it goes on the cup, so it doesn't lose its shape. So I've cut a curve into both ends of the handle now, and I've had to test it and recut it a couple of times, but now it's ready to go. You can see that it's now fitting the curve of the cup. So we're going to score both the cup and the handle, but before I do that I'm just going to moisten it a little bit so that the score will take into a softer surface. And I use the serrated rib to do that. So then I'm going to do the same on the cup. So I've got the little cut marks here from the scalpel, so I know where I'm aiming to score it. And I'm going to dampen both surfaces again before I apply some slip, because it dries out really quickly. Now I'm going to apply some slip. This is slip made up from the body that I'm using of the cup, with a little bit of casting slip added to it. I do the same on the cup. And then you've got to move quickly to attach this before it all starts drying. And before I do too much, I've got to make sure that it's lined up vertically, and then it's just a process of vibrating the handle until it stops moving, because once it's stopped moving, it means that it's grabbed onto its connection point. Yep, I'm really happy with that now. And now it's a matter of compressing the join and cleaning it up. So to clean up the join, I use this really neat little rubber tool. I can't remember what it's called, but it operates by clearing away the slip, and at the same time by pushing on the join, so it helps to secure the join as well as tidy up. And I do that on the inside and the outside. And then I'll come back with a brush to clean up the rest. The cup has finished its construction now, and as you can see there are points where it still needs cleaning up, but there are 2 more opportunities to clean it up before it goes into its final firing. Nerikomi pieces have to be stored and dried really slowly. It's because of all the joins in them. And to dry cups, I put them in this container over here. I've drilled a whole lot of holes in it so that the moisture can get out, so that they do dry slowly, but they still have to be in a closed environment. So this container just sits under one of my workspaces, and you can see there's a cup already drying in there. I can put 8 cups in here and dry them. And they sit in this environment for about a week, and then I've got another process to complete the drying, which I think will be a revelation to a lot of people. So until the next video, see you then.